Welcome to the channel, everyone. It's Michael with Art EDU. It starts with you. Today, I wanted to bring you guys the video that convinced me to get involved with MoveQuest. I've seen a lot of different projects. Obviously, a lot of them do not work out. But when I heard this video of the creator Lynette explaining the tokenomics, the different rewards and incentives, and what they have coming in the future, I decided to start buying some miners. Also, just bought my first ever Apple Watch because when you have a wearable, you get more data, which means you're able to mine more tokens. So if you guys want to know the actual how-to step-by-step process, I have a separate video on my channel showing you how to buy your miners and evolve them to get paid daily from your daily activities of exercise, sleep, calories burned, and such. So here's the creator of the app explaining how everything works. I know it might be a little complicated, but when I saw this, it made me want to get involved because I like the way the ecosystem works. So enjoy. Link to join is down below.
Folks, it's just getting better and better. That's all I can say. Look at the chat. Fire, fire, fire. That's what that was. That was an incredible presentation. It just gets better and better. The energy was incredible. Appreciate that, Herschel. And yeah, we want to bring up Miss Lynette Artin, somebody that was a visionary, someone that's just grinded this thing out over the last 3 or 4 years, probably longer than that. It's always been inside of her, obviously. When you hear her speak about it and you see her level of understanding and her level of just just precision when it comes to what blockchain is, how it should function, why it should work this way, and why she's put together what she's put together, the passion, the heart, the intention, all that's there when you hear her speak. So I want to bring up Miss Lynette Artin. I know she has some things she wants to share. Herschel, you covered the presentations. I think we might hear something special tonight. So I'm just setting you up, Miss Lynette. Are you there? Can you hear me? Let me go ahead and get you unmuted here. Unmute. There you go.
All right, there I am. Well, I
Avatar
don't know
and
about you
all.
guys. I am super excited. It's just been an amazing, what's it been, 33 days since we started
Yeah.
mining on Avalanche August 1st, and we listed the MoveQuest token on July 22nd. But, Hershey do a great job presenting because I end up going way too deep into like the technical stuff, and then I know I lose people. But I guess what I would add to this is that those of you that have been in other projects, we've all been in them. Um, you know, they don't last. And they don't last because I don't know why. I mean, I know why they don't last, but I don't know why these people create these projects and they haven't done their homework to really understand what it takes for crypto to really work. And you have to think about the blockchains. They are self-funding ecosystems. They have a use, right, for their coin. We're not a blockchain, we're a project, but you still have to use the same fundamentals or they're not going to work. And so can I share my screen?
Yeah, you should
Yes,
be
go
able
right
to.
ahead. Yes,
Let me
you're
see.
our co-host. Yes.
Okay, good. I can. All right, let me do this. So what I want to show you is first the token, because everybody is always like, well, how can it do this? Why is it doing this? Well,
Well, that's
this
the other
money,
one.
no, this is the real one. This is
Uh,
ours. This is I got that stuff up there. You guys all beware. We are not on Solana. So if you find the move quest on the Solana chain, it's a complete fraud scam. I've got my lawyers right now working on getting all that stuff removed, cease desist letters and going after whoever the culprit is that did it. So we got a pretty good team on it. I'm pretty confident we're going to figure out exactly who did it and then bring the wrath on them. But don't go if you see move quest on a Solana chain, it is fake. Somehow Dex Screener, they were able to submit, and I think Dex Screener thinks it was legit. Well, now they know now they've gotten the information that it's not, so it should be down pretty soon. So if you come across, this is all fraud, fake. If you did buy tokens, sell them, get the heck out of there. We are not on Solana. They're only there to rip you off. So I keep it up. See, this is what they did, Ken. They listed that. They even have our website, Twitter, and
yeah,
Telegram
it's
to
crazy.
see they manage the pool. They'll take your money. What they were hoping is that it would get up. I'm sure. What probably it is what's going on, and we're going to get this a lot. You're going to have okay, I won't tell you what I call them. People
Mhm.
like, that think they're experts in the crypto space or they want to critique it and call me a scammer and whatnot. I'm very transparent. I haven't scammed a soul. This is 1,000% legitimate, and I'm going to share with you on the real exchange why. You see this money right here? This is your liquidity. The money that you spend in this project stays with the project. Other projects take all that. They don't leave it for the project. It's a self-funding ecosystem. When you mint a miner, it plays no role in the ecosystem itself. It just reduces the supply of tokens, okay, because it returns them back to the safe so that in 2060, when the 20 million move quests are in circulation, it still has tokens in the vault. So when it does its final halving from 28, it'll halve into 14 and it'll halve into 7. And so it'll continue to mine well beyond our lives because it's always removing those tokens. So every time a miner is minted, those MoveQuest tokens go back into the vault. This project never sells MoveQuest. There was no allocation of MoveQuest to me, to the developers, to any of the admins, to any of customer support. There's not been one MoveQuest given away or allocated. There's none set aside for marketing. There's none set aside for development. Nothing. Why? Because that's the token of the project. When the project creator starts selling those tokens or they allocate them, then you've got a project that's going to go sideways. It doesn't work like that here. When you mint those miners, it removes MoveQuest from circulation. When you go through the gamification parts and pieces of this application within the ecosystem, when you plug your miners in to the mining dock, it takes MoveQuest. So let me see here. This is the mining dock. When you plug it in, it's taking that MoveQuest. That MoveQuest 100% of it is liquidity. This here is the fees that you pay for submission. That's done in Avalanche. What does that AVAX do? Well, it either is converted it's all converted to UST, and then that USDT goes and buys MoveQuest, brings it back to the USDT, pairs it, adds it to liquidity. This here is the airdrop. Okay, this is where the distribution of tokens is at. And so every week, 17,500 of them goes into the airdrop contract so that 2,500 are distributed every day. And as the community grows, then the distribution will begin to increase based on what the liquidity is in the pool, what the selling trends are, what the buy trends are. It's an algorithm that it uses. So it will begin to increase that amount up to the 5,447 that go out in the first year every day, 2.6 million, the same amount that went out with Bitcoin. And then it'll do 7,200 a day next year. Community will be up and it'll just be automated where the whole year supply goes into the airdrop, where right now only 1 week at a time is being added based on the size of the community growth. So this here, these are MoveQuest tokens that are in that airdrop. This here is, oh, that's not a contract. It's a contract, but not one that has anything to do with the ecosystem. This is the safe. There's 20,683,921 MoveQuests that are in the safe. Okay, those are not in circulation. When you come over here and you look at this here, oh, that's the safe again. But what this is showing you is these MoveQuest here, when you mint those miners, this is what's returned back to the vault from the minting of those miners. So whenever you see it coming from the address ending in 4576, those are being returned to the vault from the minting of those miners. So you can see there's a bunch of them. That 17,500 I'm telling you about, that's coming out of the safe. That's this contract right here. This is the safe where the tokens are at going into that airdrop contract. Okay, they're not being given to anybody. They're not being distributed to anybody. They're going into the airdrop for that daily distribution. And then whenever you see, here we go, 4546, that's 343. MoveQuest went back in. Whenever you see this, the one that ends in C06, when the token was listed with 100,000, it will return 100,000 back to the safe. So whenever you see anything going back to the safe from the address here that ends in C06, it's just returning excess MoveQuest from the 100,000 that was listed with the original liquidity. So it's eventually sending that back. So only the mined tokens are in circulation, nothing prior to that. So it's got a very tight tokenomics with the token. Then this here, this is showing you where the increase of the liquidity is being done. Okay, and again, it's all coming from, you'll see the C06. Here you've got MoveQuest, when it says out, it's because it's going into that liquidity. That's liquidity, the one that ends in 8199. Here, 10,000 was paired to 157 MoveQuest, added as liquidity. That was $20,000. So you can go to these contracts and you can see everything. It's all 100% transparent. There's 173 pages of liquidity that's been added to this pool. Why? Because you're spending that money. Every time you mint a miner, it's removing MoveQuest. Every time you dock, every time you evolve, every time you submit, every time you claim, every time you create a challenge, every time you create an event, it stays with the liquidity. You're spending the money in an ecosystem. In your typical project, they take all of that. They get an allocation of tokens. They did a pre-sale, diluted the market before they had the liquidity there. They pocket everything that you spend in a typical project. That and beyond would be in my pocket, and I'd be off spending your hard-earned money while you were sitting here trying to make money on a token that probably hadn't hit 10 or 20 cents. And that's why they don't work. If you build the project right, the project creator can use the project the same as everybody else. I buy my tokens or I mine my tokens. And I do not hold the most tokens in this project, okay? Creator, and I don't hold the most tokens. In fact, I'm not even up on the top. I don't even think, I know I'm not even on the top 10 because there's people that have bought more. You can come and look at the MoveQuest. This first one, that's the safe. That's the vault that's holding those tokens. 98.49% are still in the vault. This here is the liquidity pool. That's what those 23 million are. This here, this is probably the most exciting part. That 21 million or 21 million, 21,556, that's at C06. That's what is connected to the evolution. That's MoveQuest that the evolution has purchased at much lower prices. See, the evolution contract wants to buy as much MoveQuest at the lowest price as possible. Because when MoveQuest goes up to the $300, $400, $500 mark, it takes less of this for the liquidity, which gives you more value in the liquidity pool. So the evolution works just like the human should, who's buying and selling. You buy as low as you can, and you sell as high as you can. You never buy high and sell low. A lot of people do that because they get, they freak out when they start seeing the community of people who were asked in these projects. You provide the liquidity. You go buy the token pair, you add the liquidity, and then we're going to give you a reward in transaction fees. Okay, guess what? Those transaction fee rewards are about bleh. They're not even worth you locking up your money. So what do? You're going to pull your money because you can make better use of it than making a few bucks every day or two by locking up $50 or $100,000. So a liquidity providers, they start to pull that liquidity, the first big pull, then another one, and then another one, and you start seeing the community start to pull that liquidity. It's not the project itself pulling the liquidity, it's the community who is asked to provide the liquidity that pulls it. What happens is that your project creators allocate so many tokens to themselves, and they get that price up where they want it, then they sell all their tokens, and then the community starts to pull the liquidity because they've seen that happen. And then everybody starts to sell their tokens because they can see the end coming, and they all crash. None of that exists here. No allocation, nothing. There's not one piece in this project that ever sells MoveQuest. Okay, I buy, I mine, just like everybody else. The development team, they buy, they mine. Customer support, they buy, they mine. The community, they buy, they mine. That's what provides the liquidity. Not one person in this community has gone out of their pocket to supply liquidity because that doesn't work. But you're providing the liquidity because you're engaging in the ecosystem. And so I buy tokens because I want the token to go up. I mine tokens because I want to get them from my proof of physical activity. And so it's a level playing field and everybody wins here. And this is why you see the token doing what it's doing. Why? Because the community is engaged and all of that goes into the liquidity. And so if the community who is here, if you're careful on how you're selling your tokens, it's going to be even higher than what the project itself does. Okay, the project is designed to constantly be pushing that liquidity in. But the most important thing that everybody needs to understand, because you'll hear people say this, yeah, but when new people quit coming in, it's going to crash. No, because we don't have that piece in here. And I'm going to just bring up my little handy dandy spreadsheet so I can show you this. But when you mint the miners, that just pushes the MoveQuest back into the vault. Where you're getting that market value here in the token is through all of that liquidity. So the more people, it doesn't take a ton of people. But once that comes in, I'm going to, oops, wrong one. It's this one right here. We're looking at this. I'm going to give you some numbers for an example. Not one single person, let's say we got 23,750 people that are in this project mining, right? They've got 7 miners, whatever level they're at. They're plugged into the mining dock and they're mining. So they're all engaged in the ecosystem. 23,750 people are joining challenges, they're creating challenges, events, they've evolved, they're submitting and they're claiming and they're doing all the activities that you can do inside the app. Well, we just look at the submissions, okay? 23,750 people, this is what we're looking at a token value. People say, well, how can you predict that? Well, because we know what the ecosystem does and we project that every single person is going to sell every single MoveQuest that they've ever mined or purchased. And so we can get a really good idea based on that. And then what the actual ecosystem does. So when you have 23,000 people, 750, not one single person ever comes in and mints another miner, but you still got 23,750 people who are mining with 7 miners, whatever level they are. And at this point, I don't know what the lease or what the submission fee will be. I just threw $20 in there because there's an algorithm that it follows, so it knows when to increase it for the stabilization of the pool. That's $3,325,000 a day that's coming in through submissions. Okay. Now it has to go and buy the MoveQuest. So it takes half of that. It goes and buys the MoveQuest, and then it pairs it to the USDT, and then it adds it, and that's $4,987,000 a day that's added into liquidity, and not one single person came in to mint a miner. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It doesn't need new members. Are we building a community right now? Absolutely. We've only been mining on the chain for 30 days. Of course, we're building a community. Do we want to see 1 million people here? Oh, yeah. You see 1 million people here, it's game over. And we have way surpassed Bitcoin. And we are by far the #1 project and changed so many lives globally. Absolutely, we want to see millions of people here. But if we only see 23,750, I mean, that 23,750 people are going to have a problems, collecting off of $1.8 billion a year. And that's just one part of the app. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that all of the inner workings of the app, the ecosystem, you're making incredible money, but it's stabilizing itself because the community provides the liquidity because you're spending the money inside the project. It's not going into the project creator's pocket or the admins or the customer support or the development team or marketing or any of this other stuff. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. Yes, 10% of never the MoveQuest. There's a percentage of AVAX and a percentage of USDT that stays with a project for marketing purposes, development purposes, and updating or upgrading and different things that we add. But it's between 10 and 20% depending on what piece of the ecosystem. So 80 to 90% of everything you do in this app stays with the project as liquidity. It's the way they're supposed to be built. If you do it right, I'm going to be just as wealthy as the rest of you because I'm doing the same things you're doing, and the project just takes care of itself. And it doesn't need me. Everything is on chain. Our servers cost less than $25 a month because we don't hold anything there. There's only images there. You do everything. Every time you push a button, you're making a call to a contract. You're submitting your proof of physical activity. We don't even know who that proof of physical activity belongs to. Why? Because you're connecting through a wallet. It's completely decentralized. You manage all of your own stuff. I don't push a button so you get paid. You make a call to a contract and the contract pays you. It's just the way it works. Everything's done in real time. It's all done instantly. You're in total control. That's the way a crypto project should be built. And once you get involved in this, you're going to know what ones to stay away from because there isn't another one out there like us. We're the only ones. And I am really excited that you guys all gave us the opportunity to prove our system so you can see how it works. And I hope you guys love it as much as we do. We put 3 years into making this project. And, I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we do. That's about all I got to add, Herschel.
Hey,
Well,
hey Lynette, hey Herschel, can we see what the 10,000 looks like? because we have Project 10,000. I just want, you some people weren't ready for what you just showed them. I know they just fell off in their seat and they're like, oh my God. Because we've seen some of these numbers and that's why I started grinning. I saw Herschel. I was like, yeah, this is going to be crazy. But
Yeah.
show us what just 10,000 people, because folks, we can do this. It's already done. But show us what just 10,000 submitting wallets looks like. What is that price point of that token? With
Let me
10,000
get us
people.
back to what the real token price is because is that where we're at? That's close enough, isn't it? That is 10,000 people. Let me bring this up a little bit bigger. How many is this? That's 1,900. I'm not sure exactly how many. I gotta play with this a little bit till I get us close enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can wait.
Okay, 9,500 and the token will be roughly
Okay.
around 1,867.
Huh. Wow. Interesting.
And
Are
see,
you
the
kidding?
ecosystem is what stabilizes that market value. Every time you upgrade, every time you submit, every time you claim, you create a challenge, you join a challenge, you lease out your miners, all of that money, you're driving the market up to this price. Why? Because you're building a community. So it's the community who's driving it to this price, but then it's the ecosystem who stabilizes it at that price. And that's why you see the token not reversing. And people are selling. I mean, we're averaging anywhere from 150 to 200 and $200,000 a day selling. This is only day 33 or 34. It is not hurting that nothing. I mean, you see what it's doing, but it's because the ecosystem is kicking in. The ecosystem continues to, stabilize that market. The community drives the market value up. Why? Because you buy the Move Quest to mint the miner. You buy the Move Quest to unlock your mining dock. You buy the Move Quest to do the challenges, the leasing, all of these features that'll be here in the ecosystem when we rebrand. So there's going to be even more use for that Move Quest.
Mm.
You have to go to the exchange to buy it or you have to mine it. And so once you do all of these, once you're participating in the ecosystem, it just stabilizes what the community is doing by driving up the price when you purchase the Move Quest. Every time you buy the Move Quest, it brings up the market value. Every time you sell, of course, it's removing what it's doing is it's adding MoveQuest to the pool and it's removing the USDT. So then the MoveQuest, there's more MoveQuest. That means that the price goes down. When somebody comes and buys it, they're taking MoveQuest out of the pool and they're adding the USDT. That makes the MoveQuest go up and it drives up the market value. Then you come in, you're participating in the ecosystem stabilizes. And we just went to $70. I think this is our all-time high.
Yep.
Oh, and
That's the
while I was
information.
on this Zoom,
Yes.
where did I see that at?
You see
There
that,
was an
Ken? 8,500 people,
Mhm.
$1,300 a coin. And while the net was talking, we reached an all-time high again.
Man, I'm
Yeah,
telling
and
you.
I thought I saw the evolution ad in here. Yep, right there. So in the evolution, you see here, there's that wallet. You'll see here, there's never been a sell. That's the evolution. Where is it at? Let me get back to it right here. You see
Mm.
that? It's bought 1.1 million in MoveQuest. It's sold zero. But see it, so it buys because it has to pair, and then it takes the $10,000 worth of MoveQuest that it bought and it pairs it to USDT and it added it. That happened 47 minutes ago. And we
Mm.
were on the Zoom. Okay, then you can see all the activity that's taken place. And we went up. We didn't even, at that point when that was added, what was it?
Yeah.
Let me get back down here. Right there. So the market value was at $69.66 when it purchased that 10,000. And just in
Mm.
that short amount of time, all those sales took place and we're still at $70.58.
Mm. Incredible. Yeah, I see
And
some
that's the
questions in the
ecosystem.
yeah, it's incredible in that. I see some questions in the chat about, the leasing program and all. I just want y'all to focus real quick. Okay, do this for me. I'm gonna steal this from Mr. Anthony DeLoach. How many of us how many we have on here, Herschel? Almost 266 people. Put a one in the chat if you've been in any type of networking, an affiliate program, cryptocurrency project over the last 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and you had in that deal, of course, ones more than 10,000 people. Put a one in the chat. I know and it's just everybody. Everybody's been in a deal for the most part, and there's been more than 10,000 people in those communities. What are we waiting on? We should have 500 people on here every day, every night. 10,000 is, I won't say it's a joke, it's some work, but it's literally already done. And we're going to get there. But I'm just like, what is the real number? What can we really go do? I just get excited because I've seen the power in people and collective movements. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. Millions is what we're talking about here, right? The word of mouth marketing and the viralism of what Lynette has put together. I can feel the energy in everybody here. Everyone here is vibrating right now. I know it. I know I am. I'm pumped. I'm so excited about what we can go out here and do. So just want to put that energy out there. This pride, Lynette, I get speechless about it. Every day I wake up, I'm like, is this real? Wow. This is so amazing. It's incredible. And yeah, we're just grateful for you, for hanging in there and doing what you do and bringing this to the world and giving us the ability to go out and be a part of history and do something that's just never been done before. And I got nothing else. Go ahead, Herschel. It's incredible.
Well, and I know Lynette likes the hard stuff, right? So I'm gonna ask her a question, and this one I believe is very, very valid. It's a question that especially your tenured investors and things like that or looking at a project will want to know and understand. Can you share with us the reason for the locking of the liquidity or not, or the lack thereof, so that everybody can understand where you are in your position with that at this time of the project?
Right. So in the beginning stages, they got to figure this has only been here for a month. So like when we go on the additional chains, there won't be a liquidity raise. So if everybody remembers that 200,000, there was 200,000 of the move quest that did the liquidity raise, and there was 100,000 that was added to the liquidity, 100,000 USDT to 100,000 move quest. So at the moment, if we locked it up, we couldn't pull the 100,000 back out. And so we have to have access to that pool so that 100,000 move quest can be returned back to the vault. There are some people that did buy a decent amount of move quests from the liquidity raise. I think, those higher wallets above, like the 10,000, 6,000. If they decide to get a little wonky with their move quest and they want to, sell right away, the evolution is able to do a temporary remove, like let's say a 1%. Okay, so let's say it's $100,000, whatever. It would also remove 100,000 of that move quest, but then it would turn around and take that 100,000. They would buy back another 100,000 of the move quest, and then it would add 200,000 to the liquidity pool. You probably have already seen that. If you go back through and you look on the smart contract, you will see where that's happened already a couple of times, where I don't know who it is, which is great. It's decentralized. People can do whatever they want. But just in one shot, somebody sold $85,000 of move quest. Well, as stable as the foundation and the system is, it's still only a 30-day old token. Who in their right mind goes and sells $85,000 in one transaction with a token that's only been listed for 2 or 3 weeks? So it allowed the evolution to be able to go in and remove that excess that was there and buy double, buy the token and then add double the liquidity to further stabilize it. So there's some mechanics that take place in corrections and making sure that in the beginning stages, one, it can get that 100,000 back out and put it in the vault. Once everything is stable and clean and good and everything is strong, then it'll lock. But at the same time, you got to remember that if something like that did happen, then the evolution contract is not able to go in and make a correction, because we can make a call to a contract, tell it what to do and get it done, and then stabilize it with double the liquidity and make it solid again, because it holds MoveQuest, it holds USDT. It's able to do these things to keep it solid. So as somebody who did, buy token, when you bought those tokens during the liquidity raise, that you're actually, and everybody knew this, you're a market maker. You don't sell them until there's a demand for them. And if you sell them before the demand is there and you drive the market, which I had to laugh because you guys have to hear this, okay? I'm not making fun of the person, whoever it is. If you're on this call, hey, you did what you had to do. It's all good. But you got to think about this. The token was only at $33. They sold it. Now on a DEX exchange, which is why I like these types of exchanges over a centralized exchange that have buy sell orders. They wanted to dump $85,000. Now, mind you, they only spent 21,000, right, to buy those tokens. That's what they spent. Great. They sold. Kudos to them. You made a profit, whatever. That's great. But they drove it down to $27. That's what they got for it. Well, immediately the evolution flares up. Correct it. It came in and bought 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I'm like, holy shit, when's it going to stop? You think about $100,000 or $120,000. It drove it up to $39. But then that person who sold all those tokens must have been going, what the hell just happened? And they had to go in and buy their 85,000, but they drove it up to $46. So now they sold them for 27. And then it must have freaked out when they see it, but that's what the evolution does. The evolution, you guys have got that money sitting there, right? You're spending that money. The evolution knows what to do and when to do it. It bought that baby right back up to $39, but he or she wasn't able to buy back that MoveQuest fast enough because the evolution contract was just going, 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 going. And so when they finally got their buy-in, it drove it up to $46. Now they had to go buy another $20,000 worth just to get the MoveQuest that they had sold at 27 and drove the price up a little even more. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, see, that's what happens when you buy and sell with emotion. You never do that. If you see a token going up like this, why would you want to dump that? You guys that hold Bitcoin, do you really go sell all your Bitcoin? Heck no. You know what you do? You sell a percentage of it to cover whatever expenses you have, and you let that baby keep on growing. But not that person. They were like, "Hee-pa." But you know why? It's new. They don't have faith in the system. They don't really understand it. Now I know they're mining. I don't even know if they were mining then. Like I said, I don't know who they are. I can just look at wallets. That's the great thing about these exchanges. But I did. I sat back and laughed. I'm just like, uh-huh, that's what you get. You'll never see it at $27 again, but that's what they got for those because they got greedy. I mean, that's what greed does. Emotion takes over and greed. And I call it greed because it is kind of greedy when you see a token that's going up like that. Who sells it like that? I mean, whatever. But that is the power of a self-funding ecosystem. And that's why that liquidity pool isn't locked either, because we have to get that 100,000 MoveQuest back out because that stabilizes the market even more for all of you who are here. And getting back to the next, all of the other chains that we go on, there won't be a liquidity raise because part of the percentage that comes out for the project will provide the liquidity for the next chain. Everybody will just have to buy them from zero. There won't be any liquidity raise to get the MoveQuest on the next chain on the market on that chain. Everybody will just go and buy, which right there in and of itself will create the next chain will be at double or triple the market value that we're at right now in this amount of time because there won't be a liquidity raise. It's not necessary anymore. So yeah, it's a very powerful project. Not everybody's going to believe it because they don't understand it. I understand crypto in a way that most people don't. And it's because of my math mind. That's all it is. They can love it or they don't have to. I mean, you can see here, it don't take millions of people for this to fly. So, if they don't trust it, they don't believe it, that's okay. Sit back and watch. And when you do, then you can come in. It's never too late. It's never too late to get involved in Bitcoin. It'll never be too late to get involved here. But those of you that are here, we're talking to future millionaires.
Mm. Yeah, it's hands for that. I saw Brandon, a hand for that. Yeah, this is phenomenal. I know we have some questions out there. I saw a couple, one from JJ. He was asking, when will the 2,500 tokens be released each day? Because I know we've heard this before. We've answered it before,
They
but
are already. That is what goes out every day is 2,500.
Oh, I guess he's meaning the other 25 because I think it's supposed to be a total of.
It's based on, like I said, I just
Yeah.
added in an algorithm to the contract because it's based on buying, selling, size of the community, the amount of the submissions, and if you put too much in the market, you can see the selling. The selling's pretty healthy, right? The buying and everything else is healthy too, and it counters and it balances itself. But if you put too much in, I'm going to try to show you something here, so maybe you'll understand where where this is going. Let me share my screen here. I'm sorry, I have to do spreadsheets. Everything I do are spreadsheets, but I'm just going to kind of give you this here is telling you what the max supply is. I keep track every day. This is the vault balance. This is what's circulating, but this is the total amount in contract. So this is what the community is holding right there, 274,799 tokens. There's 106 that were in the mining dock that will go, it's for liquidity. And those are all moved at least once, sometimes twice a day. It just depends. This is what's in the comp plan for the community to still claim. This is what is in that wallet that ends in C06. This is what the evolution contract has purchased. And this is what is in the airdrop, which is that daily distribution. So for those of you that, you'll get questions about that FDV, the fully diluted market value, where it's like, I don't know, 1.3 billion or something like that. You have to kind of ignore that. We're not listed on CoinMarketCap, and once we are and they understand the circulating supply, they'll adjust that and the DEXs will pick it up. So our current liquidity, which is a little different now because the price went up, I haven't adjusted it. There's 23,200 MoveQuest in the pool, 1.599 million USDT. That gives the market value when I had updated the sheet at 68.92. The actual fully diluted market value is 18 million. It's not 1.3 billion because it's based on the amount of tokens that are in supply or in circulation, that 316,000. This is what the liquidity is. And to have a fully fluid liquidity pool, it would need 15.7 million for everybody to cash out every single one of their MoveQuest at that $68.92 price point. This is what this is what's docked currently. There's 12,368 miners in the mining docks. This is the number of Lennies, primaries, ultras, alphas, omegas. And this is where we're at in total submissions daily. So there's only 2,081 wallets that are submitting every single day. This is if everybody was to evolve, this is what would be added to the liquidity pool. Of course, it would have to buy MoveQuest, but that's what would be added to the liquidity just from the current evolution. What I did here was this is the MoveQuest distribution. Our last final round that closed for the mining shares, the global mining shares, was 5,985,000 million. 5,985 million. There we go. Talked too much today. What I did, and for those of you that want to try to figure that out, you take the global shares, which you get in your history, and here you can see I did it. So you would take the 2,500 and you would divide the global shares, okay? Divide it by the global shares. That's letting you know that every share that you've mined, which are really hashes that you're generating, is worth this amount. So if you take your individual shares that are in your mining dock, some of you will say if you're mining with Lennies, maybe it's 100,000, 300,000. I don't know what you have in your mining dock. People that are mining with Omegas, most of you are at the 7.5 million to 8.3 million, depending on what your miner has for elements and attributes and things. So I just rounded it up as an Omega 8 million shares. If you were maxing out doing 20,000 steps a day, you take the MoveQuest per proof of physical activity share, times it by the mining shares that you earned from your proof of physical activity, and you multiply it. Okay, and that would tell you that you had mined 3.342 MoveQuest. That would give you about $230 a day, about 1,612 per week, about 6,900 per month. Okay, that's what the average person would be earning if they were maxing out using the 7 Omegas. Now, if the global increases by 1.5 times and the token value does as well, meaning it's at $155, even though the global mining shares have increased more than that 5 billion up here, now it's 8 billion, that means there's more people mining, you're still making more money, even if there's less MoveQuest going out. Because if the market value is increasing and you're mining less, it means you're still making more money. And you're going to make more money, yes, if the tokens increase, but that's only if people aren't overselling. So what we want to make sure of, and the algorithm will let us know, you always want to make sure you don't dilute the market. You want to make sure that the tokens are being sold when there's a demand. So when you look at the buy volume compared to the sell volume, we're almost always higher in buy volume. It's rare. When you see the red candlesticks, that means that there was more selling than there was buying. But for those of you that want to know what can you safely take out? I don't know if you guys seen the image that I sent around today. Just deduct what was sold from what was bought. And if it's a positive value, I don't know, did we get that sent around to everybody?
Yeah,
Let
you
me
did a
bring
great
it up.
job. It was in every chat on the Telegram. You
Yeah.
passed it around pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yep. Yeah, I don't even know where it's at in this computer. I got so much garbage in here. But anyway, you can figure out what you take the number of tokens that you have. I mean, and if you got to sell more, you got to sell more. But if you really want to gauge it so that it is growing and you're still able to, pull out some of the money that you're mining and you want to make sure it doesn't affect the market value of the token, that's how you can do it. If you use that, image that I shared with you. But you guys, it's a stable system. If somebody wants to sell out and you're happy at this price point, hey, all the more power to you. But if you see how the ecosystem works, I'm not giving you financial advice. Everybody do whatever it is that you want to do. It's a stable market. There's no whales here, except for the evolution contract. It's its own whale, but it's the community's money. So you guys are all your own whales. This is your project. This is your liquidity pool. You know, take care of it. It's here forever. It just keeps feeding itself.
Mm.
There's no, I'm here. Okay, you guys all know who I am. I'm very transparent. And this is set up to work a specific way, and it's going to continue to work this way. Nobody else has control over any of this. They'll come find me if I tried to rip somebody off, but think about it like this. Why would I spend 3 years of my life to put this together so I could rip you all off when I could have done it like all the other projects and rip you off anyway? I'm not going to do that. I done this with no investor money. Nobody, putting this together. Nobody spending their money to pay to develop this. No, pre-sale to raise millions upon millions of dollars, okay, to cover the cost that it costs to build this. Why would I do that if I wanted to hurt the community? I'm doing this to set a precedence so that other projects will see how you're supposed to do this so that people can finally win the right way because the crypto space is so powerful. It's life-changing. I want people to benefit from something done right. So maybe you don't know who I am. Maybe you don't understand exactly how this works, but I guarantee you I'm not hard to find. And I didn't put the last 3 years of my life on hold to do this so that I could come in after the fact to hurt the project that I've just worked so hard. And so as my developers and customer support and the community who have been here, during the beta testing, we didn't go through this to hurt anybody. We went through this to change the crypto space, to put the scammers to rest finally. Like if you didn't do it the right way, we can get rid of the scammers on our own just by knowing how a real project needs to work. If we don't join their crap, they're going to quit creating it because they're not going to get any traction because they didn't do it the right way. We did it the right way. So I know the questions are there, but at some point you got to put a little faith in what you see here, what you have your hands on, because nobody has done this before and nobody is going to do this if they didn't have the community's best interests at heart. So that's, I guess, all I can say in my own defense. You have to have a little bit of faith in me that I know what I'm doing. Um, if that was my goal, I wouldn't have put all this money, time, and effort into something that I could have just dressed up all cute and pretty and done like everybody else does and already been on my way, on an island 2.5 years ago. Um, this was done the right way so that everybody can win. And I just hope everybody loves it and enjoys it. And I look forward to hearing everybody's success stories.
Mm. Stand and know, everybody. Stand and know. This has been a masterclass. I mean, I don't know what else you need to hear. There's a couple more questions. Herschel, go ahead. I know you wanted to say something earlier.
Oh no, I just had really, well, it is a question, but it's an easy one this time. Do you have, I think, do you have an idea, Lynette, or can you, not even an idea, can you share where we are in the rebranding process and whether or not it looks like we're on target for between the September the 15th and September the 30th for that to officially take place?
Yeah, we're absolutely on target. And we won't have to use test flight either. So corporate documents should all be back this week. So all that'll be good. Everybody just go in and download the app from whatever app store they're on. And yeah, everything is on target.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Huh?
Okay. A couple more questions, I guess. Towards the end of the chat, I saw this one came a couple times. Who controls the vault, and is it protected from hackers with being associated with decentralized markets or wallets?
So it's a smart contract. It absolutely cannot be hacked, and I am the one who controls it.
Boom. Thank you. All right. When is the next chain, the next blockchain? Or who is it? Yeah, there's two. They want to know what chain possibly, and then or when.
So we will either go up on Blast, Base, or Arbitrum next, one of those three. We'll be on a total of 8 chains. Now, we were going to have that done by December, but I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of fast movement to get up on those chains to give people time to start minting. So I think what we're going to do is every 3 months add the next one, and every 3 months add the next one until everybody is a little more. Once everybody's got this down, and the community is pretty well here. Not, I mean, obviously we're going to always be growing, but once we have a stable community that understands how this process works, and you guys don't have to be on Zoom 24 hours a day to assist, then it would be time to go to the next chain and let people, they'll already know. They can just navigate over, they'll know what to do, mint their miners, get them docked, and the whole process will start again. So we're just kind of gauging it, I guess, based on the community's, growing. When the community is ready for it, we don't want to launch it too soon, and we want to make sure that people are understanding of what we're doing so that it's easy for them to just, because that's going to be awesome. I mean, imagine having 8 different blockchains, the same proof of physical activity. You think you're making good money now, wait until you're claiming it on 8 different chains.
We don't even talk about that a lot, and we almost forget about that. But
Right.
I can imagine for a little bit. Okay, here's another question.
Here's one.
Oh, yeah,
Here's one that I do believe it is important for people to know and understand. Is there a succession plan in place should something happen to you?
yeah, that was on there. Yep.
Yes, there is. Everything is already in place. Private keys access with in locked boxes with my attorney. There's people that have, like, my attorney has one half, the other one has the other half, all locked. There's already a will that's been done. Developers already know what to do. Everything is already handled. This thing runs without me.
Beautiful. Will the onboarding process be simplified?
Hey, you guys, you know what? You talk to the developers and the designers as much as I
I
do.
know. I was
So,
just,
oh,
well,
that was a
I can tell
question.
you.
I thought you were asking me. I'm like,
No.
why are you asking me this?
Well, okay. Look,
Like,
I know a little bit of something, something. I'm just telling you guys. I've told you. When you see the app, your mind's gonna just go. You're gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?" That's all I gotta
yeah,
say.
you guys
It's gonna
can't even like
no.
you won't like when you open that app up, you're gonna be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It doesn't even, it will blow your minds. It
Yeah.
absolutely has that multi-million
Yeah.
dollar look to
It
it.
has everything. The aesthetic. It has the user friend. It has everything.
Everything.
It's incredible.
It's
So
a beautiful thing.
it
It's
is.
still
It is.
crypto. We still
Yes.
have to know how to go buy crypto and send it from one wallet to another, create wallets and all. So it's still crypto. But understanding the onboarding flow and things like that is going to be a lot more intuitive to follow that process to know what to do next or what have you. But it's still crypto and it's still decentralized. There's a certain
Yep.
element in this process that would have to be centralized to make it easy, which is the thing that most projects that we're involved with are, because somebody has their hand in control. To be decentralized, we have to get ourselves to the point to where we learn crypto, we understand crypto, and we can maneuver within the crypto space. That is one of the things that Lynette was mentioning earlier. After you see a project that is structured to work properly in the crypto space, it is going to make it a lot easier to identify what is not a real sustainable project in the future and where the fault points are in those projects or what have you. And, having to connect your wallet, having to approve and confirm, and all of those different steps. That's crypto. That's blockchain. That's decentralization. We want Big Brother to not be in our business. We're used to being able to pick up the phone and call customer service and have somebody check our account, fix problems behind the scenes, but we get mad when they have our information and they tell us, no, we can't get access. Well, on the flip side, this is the decentralized space. What comes with having complete autonomy, if you will, there's a certain level of responsibility that comes from the person that's holding those assets. And what we're doing, we have to position ourselves to be knowledgeable of what it takes to protect ourselves and how to maneuver in the space. So it's education for everybody. And think about it like this. I personally don't care how hard it is. For the amount of money we're making, you people go to a job and get paid and make less. And they sit there for 8 hours. I'll sit through a 45 to an hour, 2 hour, or 3 hour one-time session to get onboarded to make this kind of money, but I'll do it every day.